Who's this trundling down the lane? It's the well company coming to drill for water. We were just bemoaning the fact that we'd been let down by the electrician again, through no fault of his own this time. Somebody drove into the back of his van and he had to cancel on us yesterday, last minute. Then, out of the blue, we got a phone call from the well company saying, "I'll be with you in 40 minutes. And we don't quite know why. It might be to dig the well because they've been to examine it. They've sent somebody to decide where it's going to be. Hopefully we'll have something exciting to share with you later." X marks the spot. This is where we'll be drilling for water. Manoeuvring the vehicle so the drill will be in exactly the right position. The vehicle they use is this kind of 1950s style American truck. It's really impressive. £1.5 million worth of equipment, I think he said it was. And when they start to raise the drill, it's something to behold. This is absolutely huge for us. It makes a difference between whether or not we're going to spend the rest of our lives here. No water, no homestead. And although there was a well many years ago, we don't know how well it performed, and it's dried up long since. So this is make or break. Will they find water? We hope so. Jim has located the spot, but the question is, how deep will they need to go? The more they drill, the more expensive it becomes. Well, there's the drill set in place. We'll find out how deep they need to go tomorrow.
You see the principle of how it works?
Right.
This is a big drill bit at the bottom.
Yeah.
And it's on a piece of pipe, and at the top of this pipe are hydraulic mechanisms that make the pipe spin, and they can make it spin clockwise or anti-clockwise, and this slides up and down in these rails on these wires. So they start drilling and they spin it into the ground so that they get to that joint at the top, and then they'll pull another piece of pipe out of here.
You're going a bit fast. I can't keep up because it'll be all jerky.
Well, this other piece of pipe will come out of here,
Yeah.
and then fix to the top of the previous piece of pipe, and then they'll keep spinning and spinning and spinning, and all these pipes can keep, and they go on this thread, so they'll always spin in the same direction. And then when they reach the water, they'll go down 40 foot with the 8-inch bit, and then they'll put 40 foot of metal tube down there, and then they'll change that bit to a smaller bit that goes inside the metal, and they'll carry on drilling, and that'll be all poly pipe then below that. But they'll keep adding and adding more of these pieces until they reach the water source. They'll probably put another 10 of these on. After they finish with the metal, they'll put another 10 of these pieces in, getting to about 240, 250 feet. And then they have to extract it all, in which case they have to keep spinning in the same direction so it doesn't unscrew underground. And when it comes up, each joint comes up, they'll clamp it here and then spin that quickly in the opposite direction, which means this will stay put, but the joint will break, and they'll take that piece of pipe off and stack it back in here and keep coming in. So it's very sort of organised, the way they bring it up, take the pipe off, put it back in there, bring the next section up, and then they'll remove it all, and there you have a massive hole, 250 foot deep, hopefully full of water.
Each of these pipes is 20 foot long, and they keep adding them down the hole to create a wall until they find water. They then remove these pipes, bring them back up and replace them with the plastic poly pipes that you can see there on the truck, and those are what will stay with us. It's the blue pipes that effectively become our well. The drill dust you can see here is the powdered rock, which is in fact slate in our area, so it's a kind of bluey grey colour. Morgan was explaining that often they find they have different seams of rock, different sediment, so they end up with piles of different coloured dust: blue, yellow, white, black, brown. But we have what they call pencil, which is slate. So we've got this lovely blue stone, and it's apparently quite easy to drill through, and blue water is what will give you the best water. Now this is exciting. We were invited to step up and peer into the depths of the deep, dark hole. I said that the plastic polypipes will be our well, but the first two metal pipes that they drop down will stay in situ. That becomes the neck of the well, and here James is welding those two pipes together. Now everyone likes a bit of welding, so let's take a moment to appreciate this art form. Here they're pouring down this substance that expands and sets against the wall of that neck, those metal pipes at the top, just to make sure that it's completely sealed to prevent rainwater, dirty rainwater on the surface of the ground from polluting the well, from mixing with the fresh spring water. Now this dirty sludgy stuff that we see here is just the top water, the first water that they reach, but it's not our fresh spring water. They have to go much deeper for that. Each time they drill, they bring up more sediment, which needs to be cleared out of the way so that the drill doesn't get clogged up. Now each of these pipes is 20 foot long, and the way it works is you're charged by the foot for your well, so You don't want to be putting too many of these down. It can start to escalate in price. So I think they brought about 17 or 18 of these with them. But how deep will we need to go before we find water? That's the big question. Now they expected this to take about 2 hours because they were thinking they would only need to go down between 250 and 300 feet. But time went by, we kept watching, filming, waiting, hoping that we'd catch that moment when we saw the water come out from the ground, and it just didn't happen. We didn't want to miss the moment, so there was a lot of hanging around and a lot more pipes put in, and they just had to keep going. We did ask Morgan whether we'd see it spurting up like you see in the cartoons, and he said no, it won't do that because he caps it off. He said I could do that, but I get very wet. So unfortunately we haven't got that drama to show you. It would have been really fun to see it, but it was all in vain because there was no water anyway. This is where the dowser had suggested. We wondered whether maybe Jim had got it wrong and maybe they'd have to try somewhere else, and it could just all get very expensive and spiral out of control. So it was a worry. As the day went by, they drilled deeper and deeper, and when they got to 440 foot, they decided to stop. That was because they'd run out of pipe. We saw Morgan making phone calls, and then the engine turned off. The drill came to a standstill, and we were dreading the worst news, really, that he couldn't help us and that we weren't going to find water. Would it all end in disappointment? Would we have to give up, rethink our plans? No water, no homestead. But we couldn't bear the thought of changing our plans. This had to happen. It's everything we hoped for. Was it all going to end in tears? But Morgan seemed upbeat. He wasn't going to give up. We were good people and he would find us water. He could tell that it was near. He could hear it in the pipes, and he invited us to listen in. Just been told if we put our ear up to the pipe we can hear the water. Oh, lovely.
You can hear the water flowing in.
I can hear something from here. Gosh.
It's like when they come down the street and they've got them horns, haven't they?
Yeah,
They put
it's
them
very
against
same principle. Just
Flowing into the pipe that's below the ground, really low down, you mean?
Yeah.
Flowing into, they're just getting an echo of it, kind of a sound of it.
Yeah.
From the, interesting. Can you hear the water? No.
You hear it? Yeah. Do you want to hear it? What can you hear?
It's a sort of hissing, isn't
Ooh.
it? Yeah.
Now it's put your ear right up.
You hold that then.
Put your ear right up against the rod.
And he said put your face against here, and that's what we were doing to listen. But I think you should be able to hear if we're really quiet. I can hear that from here, so I'm hoping that it picks up on the video, that you can hear like a hissing sound, and that is the water.
That's the water.
That's our water down deep in the ground. And they blasted some air into it, didn't they, at the end, just to test it. And then some like clean water just went on top of the slurry. We could just see it coming out, and he said, that's your water. So we do have clean water, and he said there's going to be loads of it as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Can you hear the water? No.
Yeah.
Can you hear the water? No. 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 Can you like far more than an average household would need.
This is probably about 18 gallons an hour.
It's just such a relief. It's just so nice to know that self-sufficiency, you see, just knowing we have our own well and we have plenty of water. And it will be it's quite funny to think that we've been making a little bowl of water like that, you know, last for like washing in and then doing the washing up the cutlery and then using it in the toilet, and we've been making a little bit of water go such a long way. So it'll be like such a big life-changing moment when we get a gushing well. That's fine.
You have to wash it with new.
Oh no, I'm really pleased.
Yeah, do you want to go this way?
I'll get jump in. Thank you.
There we go, success.
There was water there. Morgan reassured us he was confident that he could deliver us a working well. They would return the next day to drill to a depth of 500 feet to guarantee a maximum supply. Not getting sponsored for this, but I couldn't recommend Lenny Hands enough. They were really lovely people who care about what they do. They just want to help solve people's problems and make dreams come true. Keep watching when we show you in the next video what happened when they came back the next day and we found water. You can't imagine how happy that makes us, or maybe you can. See you in the next video. Bye for now. Thanks for watching.